Have you ever stopped to think about the building you're in right now? Whether it's your home, your school, or the local library, buildings are a huge part of our lives. We live in them, work in them, and learn in them. They protect us from the rain and the cold. But here's something you might not know. Our buildings have a massive, and I mean massive, impact on our planet. They are like silent giants, standing all around us, using up enormous amounts of energy and resources. They are, in fact, one of the single biggest contributors to climate change, and most of us don't even realize it. It's a big deal, people. Think about it this way. Globally, buildings are responsible for almost 40% of all the energy we use. That's more than the entire transportation sector, all the cars, trucks, planes, and ships combined. All that energy has to come from somewhere, and right now, most of it comes from burning fossil fuels like coal, oil, and natural gas. When we burn these fuels, we release greenhouse gases, like carbon dioxide, into our atmosphere. These gases act like a heat-trapping blanket around the Earth, causing our planet to get warmer and warmer. So, every time we turn on a light, crank up the air conditioning, or use a computer, we're asking our buildings to pull more power from the grid, which often means more pollution. It's not just about the electricity either. The entire life of a building, from the very beginning to the very end, has an environmental footprint. Consider the materials we use to construct them: concrete, steel, glass, and plastic. Making these materials requires a tremendous amount of energy and often involves processes that release even more carbon dioxide. We also have to transport all those heavy materials to the construction site, which burns more fossil fuels. Then, once a building is old and needs to be torn down, all that waste often ends up in a landfill. It's a huge, resource-intensive cycle that has been going on for centuries. So, you see, the places we love and depend on are part of a very big problem. They keep us comfortable, but that comfort comes at a cost to our planet's health. The way we have been designing and operating our buildings is simply not sustainable for the long haul. But here's the exciting part, and this is what science is all about. When we identify a problem, we can start looking for solutions. We have the knowledge, the technology, and the ingenuity to change this. We can turn these silent, energy-hungry giants into lean, green, planet-saving machines. It's time to rethink how we build from the ground up. So, what's the solution? Well, it's all about building smarter. We call this green building. A green building isn't necessarily painted green, although it might have a lovely garden on its roof. A green building is a structure that is designed, constructed, and operated in a way that minimizes its negative impact on the environment and can even have a positive one. It's a whole new way of thinking about where we live and work. Instead of just building a box to keep the weather out, we're creating a high-performance system that works with nature, not against it. This is where science and engineering come together to do something truly amazing for our world. The core idea of green building is to be as efficient as possible with everything: energy, water, and materials. It's about reducing waste, cutting down on pollution, and creating healthier spaces for people to be in. Imagine a building that produces its own clean energy from the sun, collects and reuses rainwater, and is built with recycled or sustainable materials. Imagine an office where the air is fresh and clean, and the natural daylight makes you feel more energized and focused. This isn't science fiction. This is the reality of green building, and it's happening right now, all over the world. It's a fundamental shift in our approach. Why does this matter so much? Because changing how we build is one of the most powerful ways we can fight climate change and protect our planet for future generations. When we make buildings more energy efficient, we drastically cut down on the carbon emissions that are warming our world. When we conserve water, we protect one of our most precious natural resources. When we use sustainable materials, we reduce deforestation and the amount of waste going into landfills. Green buildings are a win-win-win. They are good for the planet, good for our wallets through lower utility bills, and good for our health and well-being. Ultimately, green building is about creating a sustainable future. It's about making choices that consider the long-term health of our environment and our communities. It's a practical, hands-on way that every city and town can contribute to a global solution. These buildings are more than just structures. They are symbols of innovation and hope. They show that we can live modern, comfortable lives without sacrificing the health of our planet. They are the blueprints for a better, cleaner, and healthier world for everyone. And that is a very cool thing. One of the coolest things about green building is that it often starts with very simple, very clever ideas. Before we even get to the fancy technology, we can use smart design to make a building work better. This is called passive design, and it's all about using the natural elements around us, like the sun and the wind, to our advantage. For example, think about where the sun is during the day. In the winter, we want the sun's warmth to help heat our homes. In the summer, we want to block its intense heat to stay cool. A smart architect can design a building with this in mind, just by thinking about it. A great example of this is building orientation. Simply by positioning a building correctly on its lot, we can control how much sun it gets. In colder climates, we can design a building with most of its windows facing south. This allows the low-hanging winter sun to shine in and warm the space naturally, reducing the need for heating. In the summer, when the sun is high in the sky, we can use overhangs, like a carefully designed roof or an awning, to shade those same windows and keep the building cool. It's like giving the building a built-in hat for the summer. This simple, elegant solution can save a tremendous amount of energy without any complicated machinery. Another smart design trick involves ventilation. Instead of relying entirely on power-hungry air conditioning, we can design buildings that cool themselves with natural breezes. By placing windows on opposite sides of a room or a building, we can create cross-ventilation. When you open the windows, the air flows through, pushing the warm, stale air out and pulling fresh, cool air in. Some modern green buildings even have a central atrium or a solar chimney that uses the principle that hot air rises. As the sun heats the air at the top of the chimney, it rises and exits the building, pulling cooler air in through vents at the bottom. It's a genius self-powered air conditioner. These passive design strategies are the foundation of a great green building. They are about working with the laws of physics and the local climate to create a comfortable environment with minimal effort and energy. It's about being thoughtful from the very beginning of the design process. By using the sun for heat and light, the wind for cooling, and the earth for insulation, we can dramatically reduce a building's energy needs before we even install a single light bulb or solar panel. It proves that sometimes the most powerful technology is simply a really, really good idea. Once we have a smart passive design, the next step in creating a green building is to tackle its active energy use. This is where we bring in the high-tech gadgets and super efficient equipment. Think of it like this. If passive design is the smart blueprint, then energy efficiency is the high-performance engine that makes the building run. The goal is to get the same or better results: bright lights, comfortable temperatures, and running appliances, while using a fraction of the energy. This is one of the fastest and cheapest ways to reduce a building's carbon footprint and save money on utility bills. Let's start with lighting. For decades, we used incandescent light bulbs, which were actually tiny heaters that happened to produce a little bit of light. About 90% of the energy they used was wasted as heat. Today, we have incredible technology like LED or light-emitting diode bulbs. LEDs use at least 75% less energy and last 25 times longer than their old-fashioned counterparts. Outfitting an entire office building or school with LED lights can lead to massive energy savings. We can also pair them with smart sensors. Occupancy sensors turn lights on automatically when you enter a room and off when you leave, so we never waste energy lighting an empty space. Now that's a bright idea. Next up is heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, or HVAC. This is usually the biggest energy user in any building. Green buildings use super efficient HVAC systems that are properly sized for the space, so they aren't working harder than they need to. They also have incredibly good insulation in the walls, floors, and ceilings. High-performance insulation acts like a cozy sweater for the building, keeping the warm air in during the winter and the hot air out during the summer. We also use high-performance windows, often with double or even triple panes of glass and special coatings that reflect heat to prevent energy from escaping. It's all about sealing the envelope of the building tight. Finally, we can plug in Energy Star-rated appliances. The Energy Star label is a government-backed symbol for energy efficiency. It helps you identify refrigerators, computers, printers, and washing machines that meet strict efficiency standards. These appliances are designed to do their job brilliantly while sipping, not gulping, electricity. When you add it all up, efficient lighting, a high-performance HVAC system, great insulation, and smart appliances, the energy savings are staggering. A well-designed green building can easily use 50% less energy than a traditional building, all while being more comfortable and cheaper to operate. That's the magic of efficiency.